deadly double shooting in Swissvale. Allegheny County Police are looking for Kharif Easington. He's charged with 2 counts of criminal homicide as well as tampering with evidence. Earlier this week, police said they wanted to speak with him but had not named him as a suspect in the shootings. Megan Campbell and her 7-year-old daughter, Lyla, were found shot to death in an apartment on Wednesday.
Looking for a male that we believe was also staying at that apartment. We're looking to talk to him.
This is who police want to talk to.
His name is Kharif Antonio Easington. He's 35 years of age, a black male. Again, we just want to talk to him.
Around 10:15 a.m. on February 15th, Swissvale police were requested to help medics get into a barricaded apartment in the 7800 block of Sailor Place. Upon entry, they would locate an unresponsive woman and a child, both suffering from gunshot wounds.
A little eerie feeling, to be so close.
Right now at 6:30, people living in Swissvale are shaken and scared after a double murder inside an apartment building.
The Allegheny County Medical Examiner's Office identified the victims as 39-year-old Megan Campbell and 7-year-old Lyla Campbell, who were both pronounced dead inside of their second-floor apartment that they had lived in for several years. Megan was located on the living room floor, while her daughter was found still lying in her bed. 39-year-old Megan Campbell is described as a joyful and cheerful woman who was full of life and could always be seen smiling and laughing. She had just received a promotion to Director of Nursing at her nursing home job and was excited about her career. Megan lived in the Swissvale area for roughly 4 years and would oftentimes pick up side jobs for parents who had children with disabilities. Her daughter, 7-year-old Lyla Campbell, is described as an outgoing, explorative, and inquisitive young girl who enjoyed playing, going to the park, and riding her scooter. She had a smile that could light up any room and an infectious laugh to match. In a press briefing, police said that medics were originally called to the scene for a man who called complaining about chest pains. When first responders got to the apartment, there was no answer. After being redirected by the building manager, police then went to a different apartment and realized that the door was blocked, prompting them to call for additional help from police. Initially, police said they were looking to only speak to 35-year-old Kharif Antonio Easington, who investigators believe was also staying at the apartment. Police couldn't immediately say if he was the one who called 911 claiming to have chest pains, but they hadn't made contact with that caller again to rule it out. Kharif Easington wasn't a suspect at first. It was soon revealed that on the morning of the murders, Megan called to inform a friend that the day before, Easington had been driving Megan and her daughter around when at some point he pulled over and began strangling Megan. She never went into details as to what could possibly have led to the assault. Family members of the victims described Easington as an estranged family member who served in the Army and was stationed in various places, including Alaska and New York. He also has family in New Jersey and connections to Jamaica. A close friend of Megan's described Easington as having an irrational mind and said that she tried to convince Megan to get him to stay with family in New Jersey instead. However, Megan opted to keep him around because she felt he wasn't that bad and that everything would be okay. Never could she have imagined that would become a tragic decision that would affect both her and her daughter's lives forever. Police made several attempts to contact him via cell phone, but were unsuccessful. Detectives continued to knock on doors and talk to people to try and collect as much information as possible.
Yeah, police are looking to speak with Kharif Easington. They want information from him about this double homicide because apparently he shared the apartment with the 2 victims. Now, the bodies were discovered yesterday when police called 911 around police got a 911 call around 9 a.m. from a man saying that he was having chest pains. When first responders arrived at the Sailor Place apartments in Swissvale, they found no one having chest pains but 2 dead bodies, one of 39-year-old Megan Campbell and one of 7-year-old Lyla Campbell. Both died of apparent gunshot wounds. Police are calling this a double homicide, and neighbors that we spoke to say they're simply in shock.
The little girl always was playing. The mom was a kind individual as far as I know. She spoke every day. She spoke. as far as I know, she worked.
Police are currently investigating and no arrests have been made in connection with these murders. But again, police are looking to speak with Careef Easington, who investigators believe was staying in the apartment. Easington is said to be an estranged family member of the two victims. And again, at this time, police are only looking to speak with him to find out more information.
Just 5 days after the gruesome murders, Allegheny County Police announced the arrest of Careef Easington just before 10 p.m. at 7th and Smithfield Streets. He is facing 2 counts of criminal homicide as well as 1 charge of tampering with evidence. Per a news release, police believe Easington initially fled to the nearby city of Homestead to avoid capture. He is currently being held in the Allegheny County Jail and has a preliminary hearing on March 3rd. The investigation remains ongoing.
Careef Easington, a distant cousin of the murder victims here, is in custody. He was taken into custody right around 9:50 p.m. It happened at the 7th and Smithfield. That's where he was taken into custody. 7th and Smithfield. There had been talk that he may have been out of state. They said he had ties to New Jersey and Jamaica as well. But Careef Easington taken into custody about an hour ago at 7th and Smithfield. But earlier today, we got our hands on this criminal complaint and learned more about the case. He's facing 2 charges of criminal homicide in the deaths of 7-year-old Lyla and 39-year-old Megan Campbell. The trio had lived together in this Sailor Place apartment in Swissvale. Nick Fisk shops nearby.
Obviously, very concerning. Hopefully that they catch him and, they can take care of it.
According to the criminal complaint, emergency responders received multiple calls to the building, one for a welfare check just after 9 a.m. on February 15th, the other for a male suffering from chest pains just a few minutes later. Witnesses later told police the voice on those calls was Careef Easington's. The complaint goes on to say police found both of those calls unfounded, but checked records and found the calls came from a number belonging to Megan Campbell. When they checked her apartment, they found the door barricaded with weights and an interior chain. Once they gained access, police say they found both victims suffering from multiple gunshot wounds. Megan found on the living room floor, 7-year-old Lyla in her bed.
We have a 7-year-old son, so it definitely hits close to home. And today we were just having a conversation about, how far we can allow our son to go from our house unsupervised in light of events like this.
According to the complaint, Megan had called a friend early in the morning on the 15th and said that the day before, Easington had been driving the victims, pulled over and, quote, strangled Megan on the